Life-changing journey. Unleash the power of words. Have you ever thought, how can just one word change your life? Imagine this. A simple phrase like, "I trust you," has the power to arouse someone's courage and motivate them to pursue their dreams. While a thoughtless comment like, "You will never succeed," can create a shadow of doubt lasted for many years. Words have great power, more than we often realize. Here's something interesting. Science tells us that need 4 positive words to heal mental wounds caused by a negative comment. However, thousands of years ago, the Bible teaches us this profound truth. Speech is not just fleeting sounds. They are seeds capable of shaping reality, create hope, or even mend broken souls. On today's journey, we will explore 7 truths can vary in the power of words. During the process, you will learn the techniques to revolutionize the way you communicate, starting today. Please join me, and I'm going to introduce you to the 21-day challenge. Can redefine the way you speak and connect with others. Ponder for a moment. What is one word or phrase that changed your life? Please share below. Your story can inspire others to begin the journey of changing their own lives. Words have the power to heal wounds that the naked eye cannot see. This is not an abstract observation but a profound truth, as expressed in Proverbs 16 verse 24. Kind words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Gentle and sincere words bring immediate comfort and leave a lasting impact on the listener's soul. They affirm that words are not just a means of communication, but also a tool for healing and deep connection between people. When discussing the healing power of words, sincerity is key. A thoughtful statement does not need to be flowery or lengthy. It only needs to come from the heart. It is this sincerity that holds the power to ease invisible pain. Positive words, much like a honeycomb, are both sweet and capable of soothing wounds that time or other methods cannot heal. Often, we underestimate the power of words. Even small expressions can profoundly shape the emotions and actions of others. A word of encouragement can uplift a discouraged person, while an ill-considered criticism can shatter someone's confidence. This highlights the importance of thinking carefully before speaking, as every word carries responsibility. Kind words not only ease pain but also plant seeds of hope, inspiring resilience in the face of adversity. Additionally, kind words strengthen and deepen relationships. Within families, praise and encouragement foster stronger bonds among members. In the workplace, recognition and appreciation boost morale and performance. Conversely, indifference or harsh criticism can hurt feelings and strain even the strongest connections. This underscores the truth that words are not merely tools for information exchange. They form the foundation of understanding and connection. The Bible uses the image of honey to symbolize thoughtful speech, not just for its sweetness but for its healing qualities. Words, like honey, penetrate deeply into the soul, bringing comfort and peace. That is why kind words should not be reserved for special occasions. They should be practiced regularly in everyday life. Sincere words can become light in the darkness, guiding lost souls toward peace and hope. To better understand this power, let's get into Liam's story. A man who once had it all but lost in the dark. After losing his beloved wife, Liam is a typical man of stability and love. Your family is the center of your life, and I'm always grateful for those peaceful evenings next to his wife, Sarah. They shared all the joys and sorrows with each other, and even unfulfilled dreams. But all that has changed on a tragic day, when Sarah passed away after a sudden stroke. Liam felt like his whole world was collapsing. He fell into a deep pit of loneliness and despair, and each day passes only adds to the inconsolable sense of loss. Liam isolated himself, close all doors to those around you, and indulge in negative thoughts. One morning, when Liam was sitting in front of the house, his eyes looked lifelessly into the space in front of him. He didn't expect anything good to happen to him anymore. But then something small but unexpected happened. Lisa, the neighbor who has lived next to Liam for more than 10 years, walked over with a warm smile. She didn't bring any gifts. Nor did he try to convince Liam that everything would be okay. She just stood there and said a simple sentence. "You are not alone, I'm here for you." Those words, at first it seems normal. But for Liam, it's like a small light creeping into my soul, where there has been no hope for a long time. It was the first time in many months. Liam felt that he was not completely forgotten. Mary's words didn't make Liam's pain go away. But it was planted in his heart a seed of life. A reason to continue. From that moment, Liam begins to open up more. He not only realized that there are people around you who still care about you, but also began to wonder, can I do something myself? In return for the kindness he received. This is the power of kind words. Liam's story clearly illustrates that words can become medicine to heal the soul. When Lisa said those words, she did not know that she was doing a miracle. But the sincerity and meaning behind those words changed more than just one moment, but a whole life. What's more important is that this story is no exception. Everyone has opportunities and abilities to be Lisa in someone's life. A simple statement like, "I'm proud of you," or "Your presence makes everything better," may be the biggest motivator. That someone needs to overcome difficulties in life. So how to apply this power to everyday life? One of the most effective ways is to start each day with a clear intention. Share an uplifting phrase with someone. You can send a message to a friend saying, "I really admire what you did." Or tell a colleague, "Thank you for your help today." It really makes sense. When you create the habit of using positive speech, you don't just help others, but also changes the mood itself, and how to view your life. The important thing is always remember that words don't have to be long or flowery to become meaningful. It is sincerity that is the most important factor. And sometimes, you don't have to wait for a big opportunity to say something. Simple moments in everyday life is the best time to sow positive words. From Liam's story, we get a strong message. Speech is not only a means of communication, but also a tool to build connections, bring hope, and heal broken souls. Any of us can also become someone who spreads light through small but meaningful words. Ask yourself, today, what can I say to make someone's life better? The key lies right in your heart. And the only thing you need to do is to open your heart and use that power wisely and lovingly. Silence can be a great power that we often do not realize in our daily lives. In a world where everyone seems always eager to talk, the Bible provides a valuable reminder from Ecclesiastes 3 verse 7. A time to be silent, and a time to speak. This is not just a simple quote, but also a profound principle. Guides us in situations when words can become redundant or hurtful. Silence is not a sign of weakness or evasion, but an active, intentional action to create the necessary space for understanding, reflection, and sometimes, even healing. When we face stressful situations, where emotions run high and conflicts can escalate, silence is often the strongest and wisest response. It doesn't just stop at avoiding hasty words. Can hurt, but also allows us to pause, regain balance and evaluate the situation more comprehensively. The words were uttered in a moment of anger can become the source of lasting rifts in the relationship. But a moment of silence, however brief, can be the key to calming and transforming conflict into mutual understanding. Furthermore, silence doesn't just benefit the listener, but also for the person who keeps silent. It allows us to restrain the instinct to retaliate, and create space to reflect on your own feelings and thoughts. When we choose silence, it is a way to control our inner self. Avoid letting negative emotions dominate your actions. This is a form of mental training. Helps develop patience, tolerance, and the ability to think deeply before acting. Silence also creates a space for true listening. During conversations, when a person is quiet and listens attentively, that not only shows respect, but also sends the message that they care about the other person. It's a way to build strong relationships and create a deeper emotional connection. This silence is not empty. It contains attention, empathy, and the ability to receive information completely. In many cases, silence is also the foundation for healing. Sometimes pain, loss, or hurt cannot be soothed with words. It is the presence in silence that is the most effective medicine. When we are silent next to someone who is suffering, this action is like an invisible companion. Brings a feeling of comfort that words can hardly express. This silence conveys the message. I'm here, and I understand you. Clearer than any consolation. Not only in personal relationships. Silence also plays an important role in solving larger problems in society and work. A leader who knows when to stay silent creates balance, so that those around you feel heard and involved. Silence in a discussion does not mean lack of opinion, but a way to carefully consider. Wait for the right time to present your opinion in the most convincing way. This increases credibility and creates greater influence in communication. Silence is not just the absence of words, but also a strong presence of calmness and wisdom. It is a way for us to show kindness, build relationships and maintain peace of mind. In modern life, where everything seems to race at speed, silence is a precious pause for us to connect with ourselves and with those around you more deeply, to understand better. Let's delve into a small but meaningful story from everyday life. Emma, a dedicated and meticulous team leader, faced a stressful situation during an important meeting. A colleague, pressured by unrealistic expectations, exploded before everyone. Criticized Emma for things that aren't entirely fair. All eyes in the room turned to Emma, waiting for her to react. But instead of rushing to defend yourself or respond, she chose to stop. Emma took a deep breath, looked at your colleague with sympathetic eyes, and said calmly, "Let's review this after we've both had time to reflect." The atmosphere in the room immediately calmed down, and those simple words created a turning point. That moment of silence not only eased tension, but also builds a stronger foundation for trust. By restraining speech, Emma allowed both parties space to reconsider the situation. Avoid hurtful words that can damage coworker relationships. This not only resolves conflicts effectively, but also creates an environment of respect and empathy within the group. But why does silence have such great power? That's because it allows us to access our inner wisdom. At the same time, listen and understand others more deeply. When we are silent, not only do we avoid knee-jerk reactions, but also opens up opportunities for the other person to feel heard. This is the foundation of human connection, where understanding replaces conflict, and compassion replaces criticism. This raises an important question. How can we actively practice silence in our daily lives? A simple but effective technique is to take a deep breath and pause before answering. In that brief moment, ask yourself, is my answer really necessary right now? And, will the words I am about to say heal or hurt? Pausing doesn't just help you control your emotions. but also provides time to think about the impact of words before they are spoken. Imagine you are in an argument with a close friend. Speech became tense, and you feel like you're about to say something you might regret. This is the time to practice silence. Instead of saying things that will cause a rift in the relationship, you can stop and choose to be silent. Listen instead of reacting. This action doesn't just protect the relationship, but also shows respect and empathy, thereby building a deeper relationship. Silence also has the power to heal, even in the most painful situations. Think about times when someone is facing loss or pain. Sometimes, your presence and silence are more valuable than any words. A sympathetic look, a gentle handshake, or simply sit next to them in silence may be the most necessary thing for them to feel comforted. Silent, when practiced properly, not emptiness, but a space full of meaning. In the family context, silence can also be an important tool to maintain harmony. During a debate among members, instead of letting your emotions control you and saying hurtful things, a silence can bring balance. Helps people see problems more clearly. This goes beyond conflict resolution, but also teaches us the value of patience and restraint. Silence is not just the absence of words, but also the presence of wisdom and compassion. It creates a space where understanding can flourish, where relationships are built and strengthened. Emma's silence in the story not just diffuse a tense situation, but also becomes a lesson about how we can use silence as a tool to create positive change. So the next time you're provoked or frustrated, remember that silence is not weakness, but a power to heal and connect more deeply with those around you. The divine design of words is strongly demonstrated right from the first verses in the Bible. When God said, "Let there be light," Genesis 1 verse 3, light immediately appeared. This is not just a story describing creativity, but also a clear testament to the power of words in shaping the world. This is further reinforced in John 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. Speech is more than just sound, but also an extension of the divine will. Carries within it the ability to change and create reality. When we consider this profound meaning, what is remarkable is the words not only shape the physical world, but also has a strong influence on the soul and human life. Words have the ability to build trust, arouse hope, and promote positive change. They have the ability to turn the seemingly impossible into reality. Opens new paths in our lives and the people around. However, this also poses a great responsibility. Use words consciously and purposefully. One of the most important factors in the use of language is to be aware of the impact they bring. Speech is not just a communication tool, but also how we shape relationships, develop yourself, and create change in the community. Every sentence carries within it energy to build or destroy, to encourage or discourage. This emphasizes the need for careful consideration before saying anything. Words can be a means to healing and bring connection, but it can also become a source of trouble, of division and hurt. We need to look at words not just through a personal lens, but also in a community context. In a society where people are increasingly inclined to talk faster, talk more, listening and using words wisely becomes more important than ever. A sincere word, placed at the right time, can smooth over disagreements, build consensus, and even inspire positive action. Opposite, negative words can have serious consequences, not just to the listener, but also to the speaker himself. Words are also powerful tools in inner development. Every time we say to ourselves, those sentences can be reinforced or destroy self-esteem, create motivation. or drag us into a state of low self-esteem. This is why choosing positive words, even when talking to yourself, is so important. Instead of focusing on shortcomings or failures, we can use words to encourage ourselves to move forward, see opportunities in difficulties, and look for light in the darkness. The creative power of words is also evident in their long-term influence. A positive, meaningful statement can be remembered for a lifetime and become a powerful source of motivation in difficult times. But this also means negative words can leave lasting mental scars. Therefore, it is our responsibility is to ensure that every word uttered all bring value and promote development and build a better world. Speech is also a reflection of inner thoughts and personal beliefs. What we say doesn't just show how we perceive others, but also reflects how we see ourselves and the world around. If our words are filled with resentment, negativity, it is very likely that it is a sign of damage or internal dissatisfaction. Opposite, words filled with love, hope and kindness shows a soul full of positive energy and balance. It's important to realize the power of words, not in their complexity, but in the sincerity and meaning they bring. A simple word, but at the right time and in the right way, can create great change. It's not just an act of communication, but also how we build bridges between people, between us and the community, and between us and ourselves. Language, when used consciously and lovingly, is the guiding light, is the thread that connects distant souls, and is a source of motivation to promote good things in life. In everyday life, our words have the same power as God's words in creating light. Imagine you tell a friend, "I believe you can do this." That seemingly simple statement can plant a seed of hope in the listener's heart. From there, it develops into confidence and determination. Opposite, criticism or denial can be like a storm, extinguish the fire of faith within them. So, how we use words, it doesn't just affect other people, but also decide how we contribute to construction or destroy the world around you. The power of words, it is also shown through the way we treat ourselves. Negative thoughts and self-blame can make the soul heavy, prevents us from moving forward. Opposite, positive words of encouragement for yourself has the ability to inspire and help us overcome difficulties. This is the reason for the choice of words, and the meaning in each sentence becomes more important than ever. Every word we speak is a creative act, can shape your own future and the people around. When looking at the stories in the Bible, we see that words are not just tools, but also the foundation of connection between man and God. Jesus used words many times to heal, guide, and brought hope to his followers. His words are not merely instructive, but also a demonstration of his power in changing people's lives. He said to the blind man, "Keep your eyes open," and he was healed. He said to the sinful woman, "Neither do I condemn you, go and sin no more." Each word carries within it power to restore, renew, and encourage people to live a more meaningful life. Words also have power to transcend the limits of time and space. A sincere advice from a teacher, a friend, or a family member can stay in the listener's mind for a lifetime. It can become a source of motivation for them to overcome difficulties and achieve the seemingly impossible. But to do this, language must be used deliberately, with an awareness of the long-term impact they can have. This brings us back to the message in the Bible. Words are part of divine power, and each of us is given that ability. When we choose to use words positively, we are not just conforming to the image of God, but also contributing to creating a better world. Every word we utter can become light, brings clarity and hope for those around. Therefore, we need to be careful and intentional in choosing words. Because we ourselves are creating reality through what we say. A 21-day journey to change the way you speak. More than just a plan to improve communication, but also a process of transforming perspective. And the impact of words in life. In the Bible, words have always been seen as part of divine power. Has the ability to create, heal, and build relationships. Therefore, adjusting language usage not only brings personal benefits, but also contributes to creating a more positive community. Let's dive into each stage of the journey. Analyze the meaning of each step. And discover how to apply these principles to everyday life. Week 1, Awareness, laying the foundation for change. The first step to changing the way you speak is being aware of how we communicate today. Many people often do not realize that their words may contain unconscious negativity or complaining. Days 1 to 3 are the time to observe and note the frequency of negative speech usage. This is more than just a tracking exercise, but also a way for us to better understand ourselves. When you listen to yourself, you begin to recognize patterns in the language and how they reflect your feelings and thoughts. May 4th to 5th is the time to analyze the causes of harmful words. It could be pressure from work, mental fatigue, or even unresolved trauma. Understanding these factors helps you not only avoid negative reactions, but also learn how to handle them in a healthier way. By July 6th, you start applying real changes by replacing negative phrases with constructive words. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," try, "I will find a way to do it." This transformation doesn't just change the way you communicate, but also reshapes the way you face challenges. Week 2, Transformation, sow positive seeds. During the second week, you will move from the awareness stage to practical action. Days 8 to 10 are the time to establish habits. Start your day with positive affirmations. When you say to yourself, "Today, I will use words to bring value," not only will you start your day with a better mindset, but also creates a positive stereotype for every interaction throughout the day. December 11th. You practice giving specific compliments every day. This is a powerful shift in communication. By focusing on the positive, not only helps you see the good in others, but also improve the way you see the world. During the 13th to 14th day, turning complaining into gratitude is an interesting challenge. This requires you to change your perspective. See difficulties as opportunities to learn and grow. Words of gratitude not only alleviates negativity, but also brings a feeling of peace and connect more deeply with those around you. Week 3, Consolidation, building a sustainable foundation. Last week of the trip. It's time to consolidate changes and turn them into lasting habits. Day 15 to 17. Nightly self-reflection helps you reassess how you use words during the day. This not only helps you identify areas for improvement, but also creates motivation to continue the journey. Day 18 to 19. Writing thank you letters provides an opportunity to express gratitude and build better relationships. This is not just a writing exercise, but also a way for you to deepen your values of positive relationships. 20 to 21. You will make a list of phrases that bring positive value. Turn them into your own living dictionary. These phrases will be your guide. Helps you maintain the habit of using positive speech and bring lasting good effects. Through this journey, you don't just change the way you communicate, but also reshapes the way you live and connect with the world around you. Transformation in language is not something that happens immediately, but the result of effort and perseverance. Every day on this journey is one step closer to building a healthy communication habit. Help you become a source of inspiration and encouragement for those around you. Your words will not only reflect who you are, but also shape the world you want to create. Freely forgive with words is a powerful act. Brings liberation not only to the forgiven, but also for the doers themselves. Words have the power to liberate, especially when used in the context of forgiveness. In the Bible, Jesus set an example for us when he said on the cross, "Father, forgive them for they do not know what they are doing," Luke 23 verse 34. This is not just a prayer, but also a profound affirmation of the power of forgiveness. Shows that liberation begins with the words themselves. When contemplating this meaning, we realize that forgiveness is not simply a psychological state, but a specific action, and speaking words of forgiveness brings great strength. When we say, "I forgive you," those words not only free the listener from guilt, but also remove the burden of resentment from your own soul. Verbal forgiveness like opening a door to let light in. Dispel the darkness of bitterness and hatred. Forgive with words also serves as a tool to rebuild relationships. In many cases, cracks in the relationship not by some great action, which is often due to small injuries that accumulate over time. When we have the courage to say words of forgiveness, we don't just break the chain of hurt, but also lays the foundation for deeper reconciliation and connection. This requires courage, but it is that courage is the first step to rebuilding damaged relationships. Forgiveness is not just for others, it also starts with yourself. We often carry within ourselves regrets about mistakes, past wrong decisions, and imperfections. These burdens can hinder us from moving forward. By looking in the mirror and saying, "I forgive myself because," we admit that we are not perfect, but still deserves to be freed from self-blame. This is a healing act. Open space for growth and self-acceptance. Another aspect of forgiveness is the ability to free others from feelings of guilt. Words of forgiveness not only helps them overcome mistakes, but also create conditions for them to learn and grow. When you forgive with words, you are giving a gift that cannot be replaced. Chance to start again. Forgive with words is the clearest expression of benevolence. Allows us to live true to the value of love and tolerance that the Bible teaches. The act of forgiving with words is also a lesson in humility. It reminds us that everyone makes mistakes, and no one is perfect. When we say forgiveness, we also acknowledge that we also need forgiveness from others. This is a circle of kindness and empathy. Helps us connect with each other on a deeper level, where love and compassion rule. Forgiveness is not always easy, especially when the wound is too deep. However, saying forgiveness doesn't have to happen immediately. It can be a process. It is important that we start with a sincere intention. Our words can be the first step in a long journey toward reconciliation. When speaking, "I forgive you," you don't just talk to other people, but also remind yourself that you are choosing freedom, instead of imprisoning yourself in a spiral of anger and bitterness. Forgive with words not just individual actions, but also brings great benefits to the community. It creates an environment where reconciliation, compassion and understanding can flourish. When we live in a community where everyone is willing to forgive, we build a safe space where people can learn from mistakes without fear of judgment. This promotes creativity, trust, and a stronger spirit of solidarity. The power of verbal forgiveness does not lie in the perfection of words, but in sincerity from the heart. Every time we choose to forgive, we are choosing the path of liberation, love, and hope. Language can be a tool to break the chains of resentment. and opens the door to a freer and more fulfilling life. Michael carried resentment towards his brother for many years. Accumulated petty disagreements, words never spoken, and repressed emotions formed a wall between the two brothers. Every time he thinks about their once close relationship, Michael feels angry, unfair, and heartbroken. But he also realized that this resentment did not hurt his brother but only made him carry a mental burden. Finally, in a meaningful moment, Michael told his brother, "I forgive you." These simple words changed everything. As if a huge boulder had been lifted from his shoulders, Michael felt relieved and liberated. Not only that, those words paved the way for him and his brother to begin the journey of healing and rebuilding their relationship. Michael's story is not only about forgiveness, but also a testament to the power of words. Forgiveness with words not only liberates the person being forgiven, but also brings freedom to the person who speaks. When we hold resentment, it is like locking ourselves in a cage. But when we say, "I forgive you," that cage opens, and both parties are free. Forgiveness is not accepting mistakes that have happened, but is a proactive action to let go of the burden, choosing peace over suffering. The power of verbal forgiveness comes from sincerity. When words are spoken from the heart, they carry healing energy, soothing wounds that have existed for many years. Forgiveness is not always easy, especially when the wound is so deep. But precisely in that difficulty, forgiveness becomes a noble act, an expression of courage and love. It is not only a personal act, but also an affirmation that we are willing to put the relationship above mistakes. An important step to practicing forgiveness is to start with yourself. We often carry within us feelings of regret, self-blame, or guilt about things we have done or have not done. These burdens not only hurt our spirit, but also affect how we view ourselves and others. Standing in front of the mirror and saying, "I forgive myself for," is a first step in facing those feelings. This is not just words but also a symbolic action, reminding us that we are not perfect, but we are still worthy of love and forgiveness. Once we learn to forgive ourselves, we can extend this grace to others. When Michael said, "I forgive you," he not only freed his brother from guilt, but also gave himself the opportunity to let go of his hurt and live a lighter life. Verbal forgiveness is more than just an action. It is a bridge, providing an opportunity to rebuild a damaged relationship. It shows that, no matter how painful the past, we can still choose a different future, where understanding and compassion come first. Practicing forgiveness with words is also a way to teach us humility. When we offer forgiveness, we acknowledge that none of us is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes, and we all need forgiveness. This is a reminder that forgiveness is not only a gift we give to others, but also a gift we receive in return for ourselves. It teaches us how to view things with compassion and mercy, helping us build a world where understanding and reconciliation can flourish. A practical tip to start this journey is to practice forgiveness every day. Take a few minutes to reflect on situations or people where you feel the need to forgive. Write down your thoughts, or if possible, tell them directly, "I forgive you." If you can't meet face to face, writing letters or even talking to yourself is also a way to release emotions. It is important that words come from the heart and are expressed with sincerity. Forgiveness is not just a momentary action, but a long-term journey. Sometimes, forgiveness requires time and patience, especially when feelings are still painful. But every small step on this journey has value. Every word spoken contributes to healing and building a more fulfilling life. Forgiving with words is not only how we free ourselves from the past. But also how we build a future filled with hope and connection. Your words, like pebbles thrown into a calm lake, create widespread ripples beyond what you can see before your eyes. A kind word, a timely word of encouragement, or even just a random comment, can have a profound impact on others, change the way they see themselves, and even influence the path they choose in life. In the Bible, this principle is clearly reflected in the saying, "The tongue has the power of life and death," Proverbs 18 verse 21. This emphasizes that every word we utter all carry the ability to build or destroy. And that power cannot be underestimated. The ripple effect of speech, not just limited to direct listeners but can also spread, impacts others that we do not expect. When you encourage someone who is having difficulty, you don't just change their mood in the moment, but can also motivate them to overcome challenges, achieve success, and spread that positive energy to others. Opposite, a negative word, whether accidentally or intentionally, can become a source of low self-esteem, resentment, and bad decisions, leading to negative effects that last for a long time. Imagine a teacher telling his students, "I am capable of doing this." That simple statement can be a motivation for that student to try harder, overcome difficulties, and achieve great achievements. But if that statement is replaced with, "You can never do anything right," then what will happen? This ripple effect can lead to loss of confidence, abandonment, and even negative effects to that student's future. This illustrates that speech is more than just passing sounds, but also the seeds, capable of germination, and grow into great results in the lives of others. Ripple effects in speech is also clearly shown in the way we communicate in everyday relationships. Words of love, appreciation, and gratitude not only makes the relationship stronger, but also creates a positive environment where people feel appreciated and supported. In family, a statement like, "Thank you for everything you do," can completely change the atmosphere, brings deeper bonds between members. Opposite, harsh criticism or criticism can hurt feelings, leads to separation and conflict. The power of the ripple effect. It's not just about positive words, but also in the way we use words to encourage change and growth. When we tell someone they have value, we don't just inspire but also opens the door. Let them see their own potential. Encouraging words can become a source of motivation. Help them overcome barriers which they thought was insurmountable. But this also requires sincerity and awareness of the impact of words. A positive word, if it doesn't come from the heart, will lose strength and cannot spread the ripple effect we expect. To create positive ripples through words, it is important that we are aware about the intention behind each statement. Before uttering any words, ask yourself, am I sowing seeds of love or resentment? Will my words inspire or discourage? These questions not only helps us control our speech, but also reminds us that, with every sentence, we are making an impact, whether positive or negative. Consider carefully before speaking. Is how we ensure that the ripples we create will bring value and meaning. In a practical way, to apply positive ripple effects in everyday life is to build the habit of saying kind words and encourage others. These don't have to be big statements. Sometimes, a sincere greeting, a thank you, or a positive comment enough to change someone's mood. Remember, little words but it comes from the heart, always has the power to spread farther than we think. Ripple effects in speech also extends to how we communicate with ourselves. When you say to yourself, "I can do this," you are creating positive ripples in your mind, promotes confidence and the will to act. But if you constantly blame yourself or use negative language, those negative ripples will weaken the will and pushes you into a state of low self-esteem. Therefore, choosing words is not only important in communicating with others, but also a key factor to build a strong and optimistic spirit. Speech, like pebbles falling to the surface of the water, bringing with it widespread ripples far beyond our vision. Every word you utter, everyone carries a mission, an ability to build, healing, or change your life. With this awareness, choose your words carefully. To every ripple you create will contribute to making the world a better place. The words you choose to say today not only affect others, but also shape your own life tomorrow. Let your words become seeds of hope, healing, and love, bringing light to souls in need. As Psalm 19 verse 14 reminds, "May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart please you, O Lord." Every word we say can be a silent prayer, an act of offering to God, expressing our commitment to the love and kindness He has given. Take a moment to reflect. What seeds will you plant through your words today? Will they bring joy, hope, or peace to someone? Together, we can create a better world, simply by changing the way we speak and live. Pray. Lord, please guide me so that every word I utter is a reflection of your love and forgiveness. Please help me spread your light through my words, bringing life and hope to those around me. Amen. Let's start today. Practice speaking with care, and trust that God's cleansing will make us better and better. Share in the comments the phrase that changed you, or the affirmation you want to inspire others.